All right, guys, Auto Fanatic. So it's been a little over 3 months since I have taken the GT350R out, not because of the weather, not because of time, because I've actually been very severely injured. And today was just such a nice day. I've been going through hell for the last 3.5 months. I said all I wanted to do this weekend was come up to the car club, take the 350R out, even if it was for 10 minutes. It's all I really care about. So I'm gonna take you guys along for a little drive-in talk. I'll talk to you about what's going on with cars, with my situation with my back injury, and that's pretty much it. I haven't done one of these videos in quite a long time. It's not gonna be fast, it's not gonna be aggressive. I can't really push my body too hard. The whole goal is I just wanna be able to get in this car and drive. You can see it looks absolutely incredible. I actually tried selling this car several times to several people, and it did not work out. And I think there's a reason for that, because this car is so damn special and so unique, super rare spec. And if you guys watch Bring a Trailer, you guys know what these things are going for now, between 100 to 180 grand. And maybe it's a smart idea that I did not let it go, and a lot of these deals have fallen through. Like I said, the car doesn't cost me anything to keep. So the goal is, let's just see if we could get in these Recaro seats. So that's the issue. I gotta push it back. Ugh. Okay, so we're in the car. So just to give you guys a little update as far as what's going on, if you follow the channel, I actually originally got hurt in it was August of 2020. During the lockdown COVID period, we were doing all the physical work for Auto Fanatic with the car care. We bottled tens of thousands of bottles, a lot of lifting, palletizing stuff, and just a lot of repetitive lifting and twisting, lifting and twisting. And I ended up damaging the L4, L5, S1 region of my lower lumbar spine pretty badly, but it was more muscular joint pain at the time. And, you know, I went for some therapy, did a lot of sessions of decompression, and I started to kick back on the lifestyle. I said, let me not, do too crazy with the lifting, and I got better. By the end of September, October, I was doing almost I would say 100%. And now we're fast forwarding to December of 2021, December 28th to be exact. I slipped on ice. And when you slip on ice and your body tries to break the fall instead of falling in your face, that aggravated it. And I was feeling pretty bad for about 3 weeks, but it was still manageable. I was able to sleep. I was able to still do things. I couldn't lift or do any heavy wrenching on the car, so I kind of scaled it back a little bit as far as what I'm doing every day. So after that happened, I lifted a very heavy wheel and tire. And as I was kneeling, my body was kneeled and I was lifting it, I wasn't expecting it to be that heavy. It was well over 100 pounds. And I lifted and I twisted, and now I have a severe injury where I have multiple discs that have tears, they're bulging, and they're compressing the L4 and the L5 nerve. So, which means I have excruciating pain every single day. I can't lay down. I can't lay on my side. It's just been absolute hell. I went to a bunch of doctors. It's, the medical system today. We don't know if it's just money they want, but they're telling me I need hip replacements. I need rods in my back. I need fusions, all this freaking crap. But I'm in the process of doing some non-invasive therapy and rehabilitation, and I'm starting to feel like today I took a bunch of painkillers just to come up here to drive the car. If I didn't do that, I wouldn't be able to clutch and disengage the clutch. It's just a little bit too hard. So I'm gonna get the camera set up. We're gonna warm up the car, and we're just gonna go for a quick drive, and I'll talk to you guys a little bit more about the car situation and what's new. All right, guys, so try to get myself comfortable here in the 350R. And like I said, I'm just gonna take it for a quick blast and talk to you about cars in general, because, when I got hurt in August of 2020, this car really was, I couldn't drive it. I couldn't use it. And I was really considering, selling it. I reached out to a lot of people and fans that, have been in contact with me. They wanted to buy it. And it just never seemed to have happened. And I think sometimes, I'm looking to buy another house now out of state to move. Sometimes when a deal doesn't work out, it's just not meant to be. You can't force it. So if things were aligned and it was the right timing and the right buyer and everything was just aligned, this car probably wouldn't be in my possession right now. But there's a reason why I've kept it. I mean, this was, these cars were really the heart of starting the Auto Fanatic channel. I never started the YouTube channel, for views. I didn't do it for, clickbait or any of that stuff. I did it for fun and kind of to connect with people that are like-minded and share the same passions with cars like I do. You know, that was really the whole goal, and then it spiraled into a brand of me offering services, and then we started the car care brand, and, you know, now the rest is history, you know, almost 4 years into it. But, you know, I don't believe in keeping cars in the garage. You know, I use every single one of my cars. You guys watch my content, you follow me on Instagram. Every single one of my cars I drive, and I drive on a regular basis. I don't believe in, you know, keeping them under covers and putting them on battery tenders and that's it, just to say that you own it. And in my case, you know, it's been really disheartening for me not to be able to drive one of my favorite cars that I actually own, which is the GT350R. And I mentioned this to other people too. You know, unfortunately, when I took delivery of this car, it wasn't the same timing and life events that I had back in, you know, 2016, 2017, where the red car, I had a hell of a lot of memories and a lot of really good times with that car. That car to me was very, very special. You know, I drove that car every day. That was my daily driver, and I created content for you guys based on that. So unfortunately, when I took delivery of this car, it was like heading into the winter of 2019. And then, as you know, shortly after winter, 2020, the world is now a completely different environment. And as a result of events being canceled, track events being canceled, all that. So everything that I had planned to do with this car kind of got erased. So unfortunately, I never had a lot of special memories with this car. I had a lot of great drives, a lot of fun, you know, here and there, but I never had, I would say, special memories with it. So in a weird way, emotionally, I wasn't as connected with this car as I was the red car. And you guys get it, you know, maybe you will, some of you won't. And that's why I was like, yeah, maybe I'll sell the car. And I throw it out there again. I engage with a bunch of buyers. I did private videos for them. I took deposits. And it's always been something else. Like, they can't come up with the money. They have to sell 2 cars to get the money for this car. They can't get the loan. So, you know, in that sense, when people contact me now to buy the car, I don't really take it seriously because, like, a part of me doesn't have to sell the car. I own the car outright. It doesn't cost me anything. It costs me $700 a year for insurance to keep this car now on my collector car policy with all my other cars. So it's not a big deal for me to keep this car, but I feel bad that I'm not able to drive it. Now, I'm cruising right now. I have the exhaust off because I'm making the video, and so far, I'm feeling mediocre. I'm not feeling like this road right here. I ripped through it 65 miles an hour. I'm doing 40 right now, just because I'm not feeling the best physically. And before I came up north today, I took a bunch of painkillers in order for me to be able to get in this car and have a little bit of enjoyment. Sometimes it's not always about whipping it around. I want to enjoy the stereo, you know, just sitting in the cockpit. Even Miss Autofan, she got in the car just a little while ago when we moved it. And she's like, I really like this car. It smells brand new. I'm like, it is. The car's brand new. It hasn't gone anywhere. It got a few thousand miles on it. And the car really hasn't been driven, you know, as much as I would have liked. And months ago, I did the Ford Performance lowering springs, and I did the Pilot 4S tires to make the car more streetable. And that really was a smart thing to do, just for where we live up here in the Northeast. The roads are just terrible. And with my condition, it was just aggravating it more and more with the factory springs and the Cup 2 tires. But, you know, we all know they're never going to make these cars again. This is the last car you're ever going to get. That's why everybody wants them. The market is on fire for these cars, except when people want to buy it from me, they want to lowball me and offer me they want to offer me 2016 money, you know, for the car, not taking into consideration what's going on in the market share. I don't know if some of these people are living under a rock, but if you go and Bring a Trailer, you go on eBay, you look at Mecum, you look at some of these auctions, I mean, the average price of a 350R between 2018 and a 2020, depending on the spec and the mileage, of course, is about 100 grand up to 190 grand. Now, another thing too I want to talk about in this video, and listen, if you have a 2020 Heritage Edition and you paid 180 grand for it, I feel bad for you. But after owning a lot of these cars and I've drove all of them back to back, the 2020s don't feel the same as the 2019s. Or the 2018s or 2017s. What they did on the 2020, they took the GT500 geometry and they changed the geometry. And no matter what you do, when you start changing geometry on any car, you're going to change the whole feel and the dynamic and everything. So the 2020 is easier to drive, but to be honest with you, it doesn't feel as sharp and as nervous in the front end. And I think that's what makes this car so special, is it's not perfect and it does feel a little bit nervous. And it gives you a little bit more of a visceral, engaged feel where the car constantly feels like you're running excessive toe out in the alignment, where it's pulling you everywhere. But I think that adds to the character of this car. And when you start taking that away, you're really watering down the driving experience. Don't get me wrong, the car is the same in general. They did change the motors, to this new Gen 2 motor, which I still think the earlier versions sound a little bit better and they rev out a little bit faster. That's just from my experience of owning these cars. And back to back, I've been driving, I hate to admit it, the S550 Mustang platform for about 8 years. And it's getting a little redundant, a little old, and that's kind of like where I'm at the point now where I'm trying to like weigh, lifestyle options and what's going on. Like, do I keep it? What do I replace it with? And there's really not a lot of cars that can replace this car, especially for the money. Really, I would say the closest competitor would be a 997 Porsche GT3, if you could get one. But now you're talking like stupid money, especially like an RS. To me, that's my favorite Porsche 911 is the 997. It's the right size. It's very analog. It's got hydraulic steering. Just everything about that car. For me, that's just my favorite Porsche ever. Now, to get a good one, 250 grand, if you could find one. And then all the other ones that are on the market have 20, 30, 40,000 miles. They've been tracked. They have road rash of rock chips all over them. And you know me, I'm not going to buy a car with rock chips all over them. So that kind of, got off my radar. And then I started looking at, Audi R8s. And I've always admired and loved the Audi R8. And I still think it's a great car. But after I looked at a few of them and I've driven them and I've talked to people that own them, it's kind of like, yeah, it's a cool car. It's kind of like a supercar. But when you look at it today, not many people get excited for it because it's been around since 2007. So it's not a new and exciting car, but it does have the NA V10, which sounds absolutely phenomenal when you do cat deletes and you do like a Capristo open exhaust. Unbelievable car. But it doesn't have a manual transmission. So you can only get the dual clutch, which, to be honest, is not a huge deal. But when I'm comparing owning this car, what would be a direct competitor, maybe a little bit more higher end, and still going to give me that muscle car, raw feel, there's only one car that has already struck on my radar. That's the Mercedes-Benz AMG GT3. Okay, that car, two-seater, just like this, dual clutch transmission, very sophisticated. It's kind of, they call it a 911 competitor, but I don't really think it is. I just think it's a very different type of experience than a 911, but it's very similar to the Shelby in the sense that it's got that muscle car-esque motor and that power and that sound, the cracks, the burbles, the pops. You got the very long hood. You sit really low in the cockpit. It's two-seater. It's just a really cool car. So I have my radar on those, and I found only one that I really like, but like I said, the market is crazy. They want $250,000 for the car. And I just don't think I need a $250,000 one car of that value to drive around New York. So I think what's going to happen, when we move, we're trying to hopefully get out of here by the end of the year. We're planning hopefully by this summer. We'll see how things go. When we move, I think I'll decide, do I keep this car? Do I sell it? I don't know. Right now, I think I'm going to keep it because I think there's a reason why I didn't let it go. And even though I'm not really enjoying it right now, I'm very optimistic that my health is going to rebound. I'm going to get physically better, and I will mark my words. I am going to rehab the freaking shit out of my body and strength training. So when I do lift and do anything physical, I'm not going to hurt myself ever again. Especially, because for my body frame, I overexert and I overlift way too much on a daily basis, for my business. So I have to scale it back now, but I'm pretty confident that it's going to get better. I pray without surgery, because when I talk to the surgeons, they're telling me it could be up to a 2-year recovery. Now, if I have to do a 2-year recovery, that's going to pretty much put me out of commission with content, with running the business, with life. I just can't do anything. I have to say my Alfa Romeo is the perfect car right now for me to drive because it's so damn low to the ground, and I love those seats that I could just like drop right into them. My Stelvio, believe it or not, you would think the Stelvio is a SUV. I can't get in that car without pain every single time I get in it. So I'm driving the QV every day now, And I actually am enjoying just driving this, talking to you guys, just having a little bit of a cruise. But don't get me wrong, I can't, I feel that in my pelvis. So what happens is I have these two compressed nerves and the stabbing pain on my whole left side. So the problem is driving and hitting bumps, which is inevitable living up here. That's a problem. And I can't sleep at night. So I can't lay on my back, I can't lay on my side, and I can't lay on my stomach. That's how bad the pain is. It feels like I've had pain my whole life, with back injuries from car crashes and racing and all that. But I've never in my life had this nerve pain where the nerve's being compressed this severely. It feels like a knife is in my hip and in my pelvis just twisting. And it's excruciating pain. You just scream out in the middle of the night, constantly tossing and turning, and there's just no relief. So I could walk. I could walk pretty good. I could sit in certain positions, but I mostly stand, throughout the day. And then at nighttime, I call it my torture hours to try to get some rest. But I'm confident, I'm seeing a new practitioner for some new therapy. I'm confident that everything is going to get better. It's just going to take some time. And like I said, you see it. I don't create a lot of videos anymore because of this. I'm physically partially disabled. I can't do what I used to do. So I have to, worry about that first before I start driving, whipping through back roads at 70 miles an hour and, being a little bit too aggressive with the cars. I have to just take it for what it is. And I'm actually really happy right now that I'm able to drive this car and I'm not complaining, and I'm able to extend my leg, hit the clutch. This car is pretty easy to drive. And I'm not complaining too much, but I'm on one of my favorite roads. But like I said, if you guys, as I said, I may sell the car, I don't know. But right now I think it's gonna stay parked, and keep it up at the car club. It's not costing me anything to keep this car. And I think eventually when we move and get settled, I'm gonna have to make a decision. Do I wanna transport this down south, pay another $3,000 in transport? Or do I sell it, and then when I'm on really nice roads, do I get something crazier like the AMG GTR? Maybe I'll get a GTR Pro. Maybe I'll get like a Ferrari F12. That's what I would love is a V12 Ferrari. But depending on where the market is and what I can afford at the time. So like I said, it's just a short video. I just wanted to give you guys a heads up, take a little drive in the GT350R, and stay tuned for more content. And like I said, I apologize for not creating a lot of content for you guys, but I just hope you guys understand. I've just been going through really, really a tough time with my health and my injuries for a while now. But the last 3.5 months has just been unbearable. And today, I made it a mark. I even tell people on Instagram, I says, my goal is this weekend coming up, I just want to drive the Shelby, even if it's for 10 minutes. That's all I want, because that's a sign that I'm going to get better and I'm going to get over this rough patch that I'm going through right now. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe. I promise you, as soon as things get better with me, I would love to be doing track events with this car. My friends are all doing track events on a regular basis. I would love to track it. I don't know if I can. I think I might be a little too risky, but I love to just go up on the mountains, do some back roads. Maybe when we relocate down south, I could take this thing to the Blue Ridge Mountains, Talented Dragon, something really cool, and create a content series for you guys and just share the experience. And maybe if I do that, I'll invite a bunch of you guys to come and join me. That would be a hell of a lot of fun to meet some of you guys, bring your Shelbys, your Porsches, whatever you have, and let's just have some fun. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned. I'll keep you guys updated. Always follow me on Instagram if you guys want daily updates as far as what's going on with the business, the brand, the cars, what my thoughts are. But I like the AMG GTR. I think that's going to be the one that I might add to the stable. I think that if I do sell this car and if my physical condition doesn't improve, that's going to probably give me the same muscle car. It's really a German muscle car. And that's kind of what I like. That's what I love about these cars. They're a little raw, a little angry. And the AMG GTR, for me, that fits that category as far as my personality and what I want in a car. I don't want something like super refined. Like the R8, that's a mega refined car. It's a very well-built car, very refined car. You could cruise around in it. But the AMG GTR is a little angrier, a little raw, a little rougher. And that just kind of compares to the GT350 platform. And to be honest with you, that just might be the replacement. But I had a lot of fun with this car. Not as much fun as I would have liked, but we'll see what the future has in store for us. I know life is going to get better for everybody around the world, where everybody's going through some tough times. We're battling inflation and shortages still with the business, trying to keep the product line going with materials and everything else. And I'm doing the best I can behind the scenes, still being physically injured. So I appreciate the support. Thanks for watching this video. Get out there and drive. If you guys are suffering from any kind of personal injury or whatever is going on in your life, or you're thinking about selling your car, stop for a moment, get the car out of the garage. If you have a Shelby, especially if you have a Shelby, you got a Camaro, whatever, get out and drive, enjoy it. Life is too short, man. Like I said, this day is beautiful. It's hot, it's sunny. I'm feeling somewhat okay to drive this car. I'm going to get back in. I'm going to use up the rest of the tank of gas, and I'm going to complete the rest of my Saturday. So stay tuned. I'll see you guys in the next video soon. Thanks, guys.